Well, hello, listeners. It's Marcus here, and welcome to another edition of the Commercial Photographer Podcast. Well, this week I've got a guest. I've got a very good friend of mine called William Gleed, and he works for a company called Life Media UK. William, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for having me on the show. It's been a long time coming. You've asked me a few times. I've pulled you,
Yes,
I've pushed you off, but here I
you're
am
very busy.
in
You're a
our
very
in our
busy
kit
company.
cupboard. I do
I,
apologise.
you are in the kit company. Now, just so our listeners, just tell a little bit to our listeners about what you do, Will.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm the creative director of Life Media UK. We are a video marketing agency. We've been running for 15 years. Started the company
Oh,
with my business partner Sanjay Singh, who has been on, I believe, already.
he has been on the show.
Yeah, and we film everything from adverts, promo videos, testimonials. We've got a few documentaries on Amazon Prime. Well, one on Amazon
Oh,
Prime. Let's be honest.
okay.
But yeah, and we also have Pyro Film as well, which is fully focused on STEM, science, tech, engineering, and manufacturing films. So yeah, it's going okay. Can't complain.
That's a good, and also I know because I worked a lot with you, and
Yeah.
we spend a lot of time together. You also do. You've got an AI band as well, haven't you?
Oh, we're not going to go into this.
Yes, we
I
are.
can't. I can't talk to you about
You do really
this.
well. You do really well
No.
in it.
Well, look, listen, it's a bit of fun, and I've figured out a way to kind of make a little bit of passive income on the side,
Yeah,
and I'm not stepping on any quote unquote real musicians like yourself's feet. So there we
I
go.
love it, mate. I think it's great what you do. So,
Yeah.
Will, we're going to talk about on this show, and I
Mm,
said in the intro, we've
mm.
worked a lot together, haven't we? We've done
We have, yeah.
events, conferences, advertising campaigns all over the world. In fact,
Hmm.
this idea for this show came up a couple of weeks ago when we were working together in Cannes, weren't we, in the south of France?
Yes.
And I thought it would be a good idea to talk about what we can do as photographers to make it easier to work with video crews.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah, there's not a lot written about this, so a lot of it is common knowledge, and I'm sure a lot of people are doing this already. But hopefully, we can come up with a few little gems that people think, that's a good idea, and it will make life smoother for both you and for me. So I've got some pre-prepared questions. So
Hmm.
the first one I've got is: when a photographer and videographer are covering the same shoot,
Hmm.
what are the biggest mistakes that can cause friction or slow the production down? What do you think, Rob?
That is a good question. That is a good
Thank you.
question. I think a lot of the time, I think you've just got to be on the same page
Yeah.
and realize that you're both there to do a job,
Yep.
and you're both there to keep the client happy. So I think what really works for me is I have
Yes.
a quick kind of meeting with the photographer if I don't know them,
Yep.
kind of set out, this is what we're going to be doing today. These are the times we're going to be in this location, that
Yep.
location, and working together as a team, Um,
Yes.
Sometimes bad experiences can be with a photographer's like deliberately getting into shots because they want their shot as well. But,
Well, we'll talk.
it's,
We'll come into that. We'll come into
oh,
that.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think communication between
Communication.
the two, being professional, and that's quite a generic, boring answer, really, isn't it?
No, I mean
Um,
we're just starting the ball rolling here. I
mm,
mean, my mindset when I'm working with a video company, be it you yourselves or somebody else,
mm,
is that the video takes a long time. You've got a lot of components that are involved in your shoot.
yeah.
Whereas photography is fairly a bit more straightforward. You've got a team of people. I tend to work on my own, or at the most with one assistant. So I feel my role is to almost do fit in with you as
Yeah.
opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that. But again, it depends on the shoot.
It does.
90% of the time, the shoot will be prepped, planned for the video, and the
Hmm.
photographer really is there to get stuff on the side. So as long if that's the case,
Yes.
then the
Yep.
photographer needs to know that, be okay with that, and not try and take over because we've got storyboards, we've got a plan, we've got a structure, we've got times we need to stick to. Like you say, it takes a lot longer.
Hmm.
Lighting and all that sort of thing. And I'm not going to get into AI editing with Photoshop, but certain things are a lot easier in post for photographers than they are for videographers at the moment.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I think it's just having that good balance.
Okay, are you having a good balance? I'm just thinking in my mind when you're talking about one shoot that we did together
Mhm.
for that tech company, and it was on an airfield. Um,
Oh yeah, I know who they are. Can we say names?
yeah, yeah, you could say it. Who what was the
AB
company?
Dynamics.
That's right, AB
Mhm.
Dynamics. And yeah, basically, I was there in a supporting role, but were going to use some of the images for the campaign. But
Hmm.
I was very much, as I was saying earlier, about stepping back and just being nimble on my feet, as it were, and just taking the opportunities when I could. And I think you have to really just bear that in mind. Whereas
Yeah.
yours, like you're saying, is more scripted, isn't it? It's more to a brief.
Yeah, and there's things you can stage with photographs that you can't with film.
Uh,
So, like, if just say certain things aren't working, you can stage it with photography after, or you can't do that with film. I mean, you can AI it these days, but whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I'll usually put slots in. So we'll do, okay. So we're going to shoot this scene now. Once we've done that, you've got 20 minutes to do your photography, and that's kind of the role I suppose I take in the morning. Is sounds a bit arrogant, but not like this is my shoot, I'm in charge. But I feel like I need to do that, and then the photographer becomes one of the team, and they gel and they become one of the video crew essentially, rather than their own entity. Otherwise, it just
yeah.
doesn't work. You know?
Yes, yes. I mean, we're both sort of chasing light in some ways, but I think, and looking at that shoot that we did together, part of it was they wanted it shot at night time, didn't they? Or at dusk, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Do you
that
remember
was
that?
yeah.
And I remember I started using my flash, and you were filming at the same time, and
Oh, dude.
I was so in the
Dude,
zone, I
you
didn't
know
really
what?
think about it.
Yeah, I remember that now. And the best take we had
Oh no!
was when your flash went off as the dummy kind of it didn't hit, did it? But it was
Y-
like a clear it was
Yes,
basically, in a nutshell, car drives up, dummy
yes,
walks out, car
yes,
brakes really hard,
yes,
dummy is safe across, and it was pitch black, everything was going wrong, and then we had this one good shot
yes.
and your flash went off.
That's right. I
But
mean,
it's okay. We were able to cut to the BC cam, and salvage it. Yeah, but yeah.
so you can normally cut when that if I am using a flash in an event, you can normally cut that out quite easily, or is it an absolute pain?
Depends on what the job. Again, it's all
Yeah. Okay.
dependent. If it's a conference, it's fine. Flashes go off all
Yeah.
the time. If it's a sequence that we're building for a promo video or whatever, then it's like, oh, okay, because you can't. Even though it's like a frame, if it's
Yes.
if it's all part of that, if it's the end of the scenario, which is the most
Yes.
important part, then it can be quite tricky. But
Yes.
yeah, but in the moment, it wasn't your fault. It was like we were all like, it was like go go go
Chasing
go go.
time. We
There's a
were
lot of
chase.
like flat time where no one's doing anything, and then suddenly it's like 100 miles an hour, and then
That's
it's
right.
so yeah, it's all good.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Exactly. But again, this, I think like you said earlier, it's about having a briefing, a talk, and about communication. First of all, just trying to nail those things out.
Absolutely.
So, with that in mind, so how can photographers shoot in a way that helps the video team rather than constantly fighting against them for angles, light, and time? I guess first of all, look, don't use flash at night time. Is one way we've established that. On the events, it tends to
Mm.
be just what you guys use and what I use is just
It's separate, isn't it? Though
yeah, it's
the
separate.
event
It's the
stuff is very we're very separate on the event
yes,
stuff. You've got your job, we've got our job. So I think I don't know. It again, it just goes back to that thing of like, if you've got good communication at the beginning, you can add the
mm,
photography to the schedule. Everyone gets their own sections in the day, and if there's a point where it's like crossovers, like we do a lot of work for interior design companies. Okay, so they do, and no, you don't do the photography for that. It's a lady that does it. I can't remember her name,
yeah. I have done it
but
once. I have done it once for you guys.
okay,
Yes,
they have someone else they get or whatever.
yes,
So she comes on the shoot, and I'll say to her, okay, we're going to shoot this end of the office or the space first, so
hmm
you go to that end, and we'll kind of cross in the middle, and then when we know there's a middle point we're going to cross, I'll say, okay, at that point, let us get our shots, we'll move on, and then you do your photography. Because it's not that I'm not trying to say photography is less than video, but having done photography as well myself
yes,
for many years,
yes.
it's quick. You can get it quite quick if
Oh,
you have
yes,
to. So
definitely.
not to your
Well,
level.
this is why I brought you in because you've got experience in both of these, and
Yeah.
you can see it from both sides. I mean, going back to events, I mean, I like to try and wear black on the whenever we're shooting on events in
Mhm.
case I am in the shot and it's not so obvious that if you like if I went in there wearing all white jeans and a white
Yeah.
shirt,
No.
would that be it wouldn't be so cool, would it?
No. I think if you're doing event stuff, the idea is to blend in, not stand out. you're not there to be anything other than what you're there for, which is to take photographs, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, minimal color, dark colors, blending in. Yeah, you just have to be happy with being in the background, really. You're not, yeah, and you don't, like I said, if you're in the shot, because I know you have to go quite close up to the stage, don't you, at points
Yes.
to get those close up shots or whatever. And yeah, the darker clothing makes you blend into the lighting. So yeah,
Yeah.
no Hawaiian shirts or
No,
shorts
and you do
unless
the
you're at
same as
breakfast.
well. Yeah, unless you're what? Sorry.
So unless you're at breakfast in Hawaiian shorts, that's
Okay,
okay.
I think that's just like in joke there that I did. I'll turn up not knowing I turn up in my Hawaiian shorts to breakfast and not. Anyhow, that's another
Yeah,
story. Yes, okay, and story for another time.
yeah.
So yeah, okay. So we're sort of we're getting some guidelines here. I mean, as we said, it is common sense, but it's good to know these things. It's not often discussed, really.
No, yeah, and if you're like a photographer that's like coming up in the industry or whatever,
Hmm.
your job is very important, and I know that as a videographer. I understand you're there to do a job as well, but it's just balance, communication, and we had a guy once at an event we were filming, and we said to him like, we need to get this shot of everyone on stage or whatever, and he was like, yeah, so do I, and he walked right down to the front,
Hmm.
stood in front of everyone and got
Uh-huh.
his picture, and then as soon as he'd done his picture, everyone had dispersed because he didn't say to everyone, stay there for the video guys. Had he have not gone down the steps, we would have got our shot.
Yeah. Right.
He would have then gone in.
Yes.
But I mean, like a photographer like you, for example, would have said, okay, guys, just stay there because the video guys, and then we get our shot, So like that was where I said after, hey, listen, we didn't get that shot because da 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 da. He didn't give us time to get it because he got his shot and walked off. So
Exactly.
that's just bad.
It is bad, Will, but sometimes, you're right to pull it out. The photographer should have been more aware that okay, there might be an excuse. You get lost in the moment, but that's not an
Mm.
excuse because you lost a shot there and you're never going to get it back again.
No, exactly. And yeah, I think if you both know that each of your jobs are important and you have value of, I value the photographer and then the photographer values the videography company, you got to look out for each other, because events
Hmm.
are messy, messy things. And they're one time you can get it and you can't get it again. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And I guess, and this is again another thing that is worth mentioning is both working from a similar schedule, isn't
Hmm.
it? We had, and we've had problems with that before, or where it's like maybe outdated schedules on the timing, and I might miss out on something. So it's important that we're both working on a schedule that is agreed beforehand and is current.
Yeah, and that always makes me laugh when a client will put on the call sheet, okay, and at 12 o'clock we're doing the photos and the videos with XYZ person, and we've got 10 minutes. And we're like, okay, that's not time enough. But that's when it comes in. I think you're not
Mm,
just a photographer or a videographer. You need to be a really good people person, and be
yeah,
able to deal with people in the moment, off the cuff, politely, and just explain that's not enough fucking time.
yeah, right,
in
okay, yeah,
in the
exactly,
nicest
yep,
possible way, So
yes.
it's like you're more than the photographer. You have to be a very good people person.
And that's just worth saying again.
Mm.
The people skills are so important.
So important. People
And
don't. Yeah.
I mean, you book photographers, and apart from myself, and I would imagine that comes up quite high in in the list of what you're looking for.
Oh, we've not. I've had people on shoots before, and we've not ever called them back.
Yeah,
Great photographs,
yeah,
but there's been things said. It's just how you handle yourself,
yeah,
because you can be in our industry, right? You can,
yeah.
unless you're like a wedding photographer, where all you do is weddings. If you do what we do, you could
Hmm.
be, like I said, in the south of France filming a conference with people in
Hmm.
suits that are all rich, or you can
Yep,
be on a racetrack with rally cars or whatever it
yep.
is. So you have to be able to bounce between different types of people and know how to communicate properly whilst being able to do your job. And I think, yeah, it's almost like the two skills. You need to be good at both equally. You can't be, yeah. Doesn't matter if you're the best photographer in the world. If you're an idiot who doesn't communicate properly and can't say the right things, you're not going to get hired.
Here, Will. That's so. And you just you don't hear that so much, really. It's
Mm.
so, but and yet it's so important. And we're both working for the same client,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
you have to have that in mind. You have to know there's an end goal there.
Yeah.
Yeah, nicely put. Okay, what else can we? What else? What other things can you think of, Will, that I can do or photographers can do to make life easier for yourself when we're on set?
Just use your mobile phone, then AI after, I imagine. So
If only it was so simple. If only it
no,
was so simple.
I don't know. I mean, I think we've covered quite a lot in terms of
Yeah.
it is just about, good communication, all the same stuff we've kind of already said, and being a nice, personable person who can deal with many different types of people. You know, from the film guys to the client to the client, whoever we're shooting for. It could be a model, could be whatever. They're
Mhm.
all very, models are quite precious people. Most of them. That's probably get
Yes.
me in trouble.
Yes.
So you got to
Yes.
be okay with dealing. Maybe you need to, and also, our job as well is to make people comfortable on camera, and it takes a lot of skill and years of work to know how to get someone comfortable on camera. Someone could be really nervous, they suddenly get really comfortable and relaxed, and then someone comes in, does something stupid with the camera, like and now everyone's nervous again and panicking. So
Mm.
but no, I don't know if that comes with time or it's natural. It's just one of those things that we have a few guys we've freelanced in, and I'm like, I can't work with them anymore because this person was really nervous. We were having a good chat, interview was going really well, and then it all just went to pot because of such a situation occurred because of their behavior. So yeah.
I, I think you're right. People skills are so important.
Hmm.
This obviously been a recurring theme of this podcast,
Yeah.
uh, but obviously not a lot of photographers are going to be. You might not be really feel like you're really comfortable with people, but there are other types of photography that you can go into where you're not going to be dealing directly with the public or with people or whatever. I mean, the
Hmm.
kind of work that we both do is dealing with people, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone loves you. That's why we keep hiring you.
Yeah.
Especially the Americans, they love you. He's so eccentric. We love him. He's like
Oh,
Paul McCartney.
they,
Yeah,
yes, they do. They
photographer.
call me a Paul I do not know where they get that from, but there you go. There you go. Yeah, yeah. And so, people skills most important. We've talked about maybe the kind of clothing you're wearing. We've talked about
Mhm,
lighting. If you're going to be using flash, you've got some kind of communication going on there.
mhm.
Um, Working together. I mean, that's another thing. Is if you're working together in a day or a half day, it's pretty easy to get on. But if you're working together like we have done
Mhm.
over maybe a week or even a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
and you're flying out together, that's really where you have to be. You have to be careful and be a good person or whatever.
Yeah, it's so hard to say though. It's so difficult to put that in a how do you bottle that? How do you bottle because you're spending our first trip together, I think we'd worked together quite a few times, but then the first trip we did together where it was like a solid week in Miami, wasn't it? I think.
Yes,
And you're not just working with them, you're then having dinner, having breakfast,
yes,
lunch, going out in the evenings,
yes.
socializing. And it's been able to do that and not uh
Not rub people up the wrong way.
that's the good way of putting it. Yeah, not rub people the wrong way, or not disrupt the kind of mise en scène, as I suppose you'd call it. Would you call it that?
Oh, yes, you could call it that. That's a
Yeah.
very the maison scene. So that means that's a film that means in theatre, isn't it? About not
I was
getting
going to
the
say
flow of things.
equilibrium. Equilibrium.
Equilibrium.
We have a
Okay.
certain way
Yes.
of being. We've got a certain we like to work really hard, but we like to have fun, which is super cliche, very
Yeah.
cliche. But
Yes. But you guys do. You guys do. You do work hard and have a lot of fun. We've had some fantastic fun and shoots with it together. Yeah. So that's really important about just and not being a bit over the top, I think, as well. And I think that also comes back about working on a daily basis together and not being and working together on a week. You've got to just maybe don't be just a slow build is better, I think, isn't it? Instead of coming in really strong.
yeah, as in, so if you were to come into some to work with that, say for example, we hired a photographer to come in for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely a way you behave when you're around work people in the work environment. You're not kind of bringing in all the jokes, bringing in, oh, I need to stand out. I need to be like this. I need to be like that. I
That's
need
right.
to
That's exactly what I
puff my
mean.
chest out, puff my chest out. No, no, no,
Yes.
no, no. You need to be nice, personable, happy to help, willing to be flexible. And then also, I think those are the key things actually. Yeah. If you
Yeah,
can
no,
do
that's
all that
exactly it.
and do
That's
a good
exactly it.
job, you're literally, you're good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I spent obviously being in a band. We talked about that at the head of the program. I've been and being a bass player in particular, where I'm sort of in the, as they say in Spinal Tap, I'm the between the fire and the ice.
Hmm.
Um, and that role you play, I think that's is helpful for me with people skills because with a band, it's similarly on the road, and you got to get on well with people, and you can't be too over dramatic.
No, but there are times you can be, but it's usually 1 o'clock in the morning when no one's going to
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, yeah,
But just
that's right.
nowhere near the client.
Yeah, I think
You
that
know,
and nowhere near the client, that is most important as well.
no,
Do you
no.
Yeah, I think anything else to add on that, Will? I mean, I have got one last question, and it is sort of tying up with this. If you could give photographers 3 practical tips before they step onto a hybrid video photo shoot, what would they be? So I suppose it's if you could sum up our conversation.
3 practical tips. Okay, so I'm going to
I mean,
guess this is someone coming out of like university or whatever, getting
yeah,
their
go on,
first
let's
job in another
imagine that
team.
scenario.
Um, okay, dress appropriately.
Yep,
Okay, it's not a fashion parade.
yep,
No one cares if you've got the latest Air Force Ones or the nicest jeans or the best earrings. Dress appropriately. Minimal colors, blend in, be personable, be nice, be polite to everyone there, especially the client, and
mhm,
especially in front of
yes,
the client. Be
yeah,
polite to the team. If there's a problem, this is another thing we didn't talk about actually. If there's an issue,
yes,
um, don't say it in front of the client.
yeah,
Go to the side, take me or whoever you're with, take them to the side, say, listen, this is X, Y, Z. I don't know if we're gonna have time to do this, the like that. Don't get dramatic in front of the client. Don't do that. Because they're not going to understand what you're talking about, and then they're going to get frustrated. Um,
great,
and then I suppose thirdly, don't panic because I'm sure it'll be fine. If you've practiced
yes.
enough, you can't buy experience, but as long as you practice enough, that should be okay.
So really, from what you're saying, it's the technical skill or technical side of it is almost given. Really, there's nothing. You're going to be able to cover. Most people will be able to cover that. The
Yeah,
skills is really going to come is really in the way you deal with people and the way
I think I think
you
that's the main
act.
key point. Is how you act. That's actually our what's it called? Not USP. What's the other one
Huh?
called?
Your
Act.
reason d'etre cream
No,
on the
like
French.
our kind of thing here is act, adaptability, creativity, and trust.
Ah,
And that's like I don't know how to really phrase it in
okay.
another way, but
Yes.
the point is, you need to be adaptable, be creative, and then
Yeah.
trust everyone around you that you're all there to do the same kind of that you're all on the same trajectory. Is to just deliver the client a good product, and you can do that by those other things. But I've lost my trail of thought. What was I going to
I,
say?
I think you've got it. I think you've summed it up really well. I mean,
I had a great point in my head then. I didn't get it
the,
out.
oh, that's podcasting for you. it'll come. It'll come when we stop recording.
Oh,
But
we'll see.
maybe when I'm talking now, it might come to you. And um, we've obviously had some great times together. It's been rewarding financially for me,
Hmm.
and it's been very creative. And so working in a team is I really enjoy.
Hmm.
Photography can be very solitary, and I do look upon you guys where you do have a team of people you're in with a little bit of jealousy, and it's really nice to be involved in that team effort of it as well. So I think that's for me that's really important.
Hmm. That is, I protect the culture we have very, very viciously because it's so hard to build and keep. So, although it's great, I know it's lovely when you join us as well, and you fit in so well as well, which is difficult to do. So, yeah, I think I definitely prefer working in a team than on my own. It's much
Yeah,
more when you can depend and rely on people to do different things. It's much more helpful.
it's nice,
Um,
isn't it? Yeah, it is nice. I mean, obviously,
Sorry, my point from earlier. My
yeah.
point
Here
from
we go.
earlier.
I knew you get
Why are
it.
you? It's because you keep saying about the people, and I keep pushing the people being personable. Having good people skills. Because yeah, being a great photographer. When you turn up, I'm assuming you're a good photographer. I'm not. I don't really think about that. Like
Yeah,
your
yeah,
ability to
right.
take the photographs.
Yes.
That doesn't come into the first thing is I'm trying to suss out. Okay, what's this person like? How are they going to work? That's what I'm going for. The fact that you do your job, that's already. I think I'm aware you can do it because you've been hired to do it, or you've
I think.
shown us enough work if it's for me or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, that's excellent. Well, I think that's a great place to end. It's
Yeah.
been really interesting to hear your viewpoint, and nice to know I'm ticking a few of the boxes at least. Maybe the Hawaiian shorts was a bit too far. I look upon it now, I can see I
Listen,
went a bit
we
too
all
far
make
there.
mistakes, but we won't repeat them because we learn from our mistakes. That's good, you know.
They've been binned, mate. You won't see them again. Um, yeah, so thank you very much, Will. Have a great weekend, and I look forward
Uh,
to see you on our next shoot together.